Oh, dear Derry. So, here we are Monday, and the government just shut down. One of the worst parts about this, the government shutdown thing, is watching on Twitter the number of people who are either in one of two camps, I guess. One is this discussion of going, oh my God, here's what I think of the government shutdown, and the other camp of, wow, is there somewhere the government shut down? Is there a place where I can read up on this? It's like, what were you doing when all this was coming up to this point? Why did you not know it was about to happen? Now, I will admit that I am not the most likely person to keep up on current events, and I don't really watch the news because in a lot of cases I don't believe that there's that old phrase, there's no truth in the news and no news in the truth, or maybe it's the other way around, but still. Certain news corporations, like, well, I'm not going to name any names, that I think, really, no, are sensationalists. I think that news should be data, absolute, pure, unadulterated data. Now, you want to give me your opinion on it, that's fine. You can do an op-ed kind of thing, and I will entertain it, especially if it differs from my own, because I like to be made to think and to consider things. I was watching, thanks to Chuina, one of the guys on the Evercast podcast. He mentioned another clip in the show, The Newsroom. He mentioned another clip where one of the main characters discusses the Tea Party, and he explains who they are and what they are and blah, 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 which I never really knew, and nobody ever explained it to me. His explanation, I really like his explanation. His explanation of Republicans, I mean, a true Republican, not this whatever Republicans have become, but a proper, true Republican. The way he explains it, that I could probably get behind. Personally, I don't really categorize myself as a Republican or Democrat or anything else. I still try to live by this thing of just don't be an asshole. When you can help people out, help people out. Try to do more good in the world than evil. I mean, sometimes evil is necessary. It is so sexy. But I'm just be a decent person. Last time I said that, I believe I was also wearing this shirt, but I was on TV. You can probably find that if you do a YouTube search for KOFY furries. You'll find it. It was an interview on a local TV station show thing called Creepy Coffee Movie Time. And they're basically interviewing me about, okay, what are furries and conventions? And I'm on there with a bunch of fursuiters. It was a really, really fun time. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, and yes, Skylers, I will put a link to the show in the description down there. Because I know you're going to comment on it. What else? Oh, right, I should probably have turned on my thing with the whole discussion of well, not really discussion, the mention of of the government shutting down. That was just the first thing on my mind, and so it was nice and fresh in my brain, so it didn't occur to me to turn this on. To continue, what's the next thing? Yesterday, I went to lunch. It was lunch with my ex and his boyfriend. It's a great thing about all the relationships that I've been in. They have all ended very well, and I remain friends with whoever it is. Anyway, so we all went out to Blue Rock Barbecue because we haven't been there in a while. But when we were coming back, actually it was when we were getting ready to head over there, we had stopped over at their place to pick them up. And I'm sitting in the van with my housemate, one of my housemates, and I. And as I was turning the van around so that the passenger side door would be on that side of the sidewalk, there was a sign in a tree across the street from their house. And my housemate was like, what is that sign saying? And I looked and it says, please don't take our lemons. And my first thought was, okay, I'll just take the sign. And then everybody else will just come along and take your lemons because there's no sign saying not to do so, please. See? Evil is sexy. And there's nothing saying, please don't take my lemon sign. We were talking about something, the fact that the word twerk has been added to the Oxford Dictionary. And a couple of other words that are just, there's no reason in the world for they're in the common vernacular now, but they're not going to last. Is how often do people still refer to ebonics? Because I don't believe that was ever added. And it's just, anyway, so there was kind of this discussion that I was being an old man, shaking my cane, saying, get off my lawn, or whatever the Oxford English equivalent thereof would be, which I'm not, I guess he would still have a cane. It would be more of a gentleman's cane. And he was like, would you kindly get off my garden? Or kindly vacate my garden. Kindly vacate my garden. That's what it was. Yeah, so that was whatever. I've had a song by Mika, which many people have heard, called Grace Kelly, stuck in my head for the last 2 days or so. And I think it's because of the line, you only want what everyone else says you should want. And I think that's one of the strongest points in the song that really kind of, I guess, speaks to me or something. It's like, there are people who don't think about their interests. I think what it was is it was the discussion of reality TV, that cupcake show that I mentioned. Reality TV is very, very squarely in that category for me. They've become so popular because people are told that they should be popular, and it is driving this thing, and so people start watching it more and more and more, and because more and more people are watching it, people think that it's popular. And even though the shows are horribly formulaic and they use editing tricks all the time to drive drama that's not even genuine. Anyway, don't really care for, that's why I don't watch TV anymore. I just, which is probably part of why I haven't seen Breaking Bad and why I'm still working my way through season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Granted, Buffy was written by Joss Whedon, and if I'm going to watch anything, it's probably going to be something written by Joss Whedon, because it's Joss. Joss could probably write articles for The Onion, and I would take them as gospel. Joss could write gospels, and I would probably believe them. That is a scary thought. Not only because I say it, and with some modicum of jokingness-ism-iosity. There are people who would. If they found out he wrote it, they would take it as truth. I wrote down Hearthstone changes because there are a lot of changes coming to Hearthstone. And now I can't remember why I wrote it down. I'm sure that I wrote it for a reason. There must be something listed in the changes to Hearthstone. I mean, they're doing a complete wipe of the game. Basically, why did you turn off? If you spent any money, and this is real world money, and I have complained about this already, that you don't get your money back. They just convert it into in-game gold, which you can then use to buy more cards once the game is actually released. Anyway, but it does have huge warning signs. You're about to spend real money. Are you sure you want to do this? So, fine. If people want to spend real world money on stuff, that's fine. It's very much like, excuse me. God, that was so rude. I beg your pardon. It's kind of like Star Citizen, where people are screaming that it's free to pay, but pay to win, which is not true. Because very much like Hearthstone, you can do everything that somebody who pays can do. It's going to take a lot longer, but you can do it because you can earn the in-game gold just by playing. It's going to take you a while, but you can do every single thing that the person who pays to say, I want, 50 mil. I guess they're coming to arrest me. They're just sirens going off. Wow. Okay. So apparently the government is shut down and people are freaking out. I haven't heard any gunshots yet, so we're okay. Anyway, Star Citizen is the same way. You can, if you get in on the Kickstarter and you do all the pledges and you pay money, yes, you can get this ship right now, or when the game goes live, you will have this big ship in your hangar, and that's all very well and good. It's just a sign of impatience. I mean, it's pay to have this advantage right now at the beginning of the game, rather than playing your way through and working your way up. Did you earn it, or did you just buy it? That's the big thing for me. I mean, personally, I would rather earn it. But then all I want, really, is a freelancer. I just want to get my freelancer and go and explore, and I already talked about all that. So there was something in the upcoming changes for Hearthstone. I know they mentioned something in particular that I was like, oh, that's funny, I need to write that down. And apparently I wrote Hearthstone changes and didn't write whatever it was that made me giggle. I may revisit this later on. The last thing that I have for you today, because we are now slowly creeping up on 12 minutes, and the sirens don't seem to be stopping. So I guess I need to be prepared for imminent riots. We'll see. The last thing that I have is, if any of you have ever done any shopping over at Rodeo Arcade for t-shirts and bandanas and stuff like that, hoodies and whatnot, on their front page is a picture of Pew Die Pie. Kind of, every time I click on that tab in Chrome, it's all, because it's on the image carousel, and so it's rotating between all the different featured pages that are on the thing. It's always him. So every time I click on it, there's Pew Die Pie. Jay God, and then it rotates to someone else. But it's bizarre how often it's on him when I click on the tab. Really weird. It's like he's watching me. Don't like that idea at all. Right. So, creeping in on 13 minutes. Dun, dun, dun. I will go ahead and say Happy New Month to you all, because it's 11:07 right now, and it will probably, by the time this gets rendered and then uploaded and encoded and processed and everything else, it'll be, October. So, yes, October. So I will talk to you guys next month. And until then, be careless.